Mythbusters. If you're wearing lighter gloves, you do more damage to your opponent than if you're wearing heavier gloves. Now, when we're wearing sparring gloves, we tend to wear heavier gloves because they are more padded, and also it slows the punch down a little bit. But if we look into the physics of this, and there is evidence of this, by the way, there is evidence, I'm not just saying this. If we look into the physics, we can see why more damage is caused by heavier gloves, and it might make you think about the weight of gloves your boxers are wearing when sparring. Kinetic energy, which is the energy of a punch, not the force, it's the energy that's contained within the punch, is half of the mass times the velocity of the punch squared. Now, this doesn't vary that much, even with the lighter gloves. However, if you take a half of the mass here, then that is 8 ounces and this is 5. So if you then take this and compare it to this, it's 1.6 times more energy when you're wearing a heavier glove. So this glove, the heavier glove, is carrying more kinetic energy. It will cause more damage when that punch lands, assuming that they land at the same speed. And there's very little, we've measured it, there's very, very little difference between the speeds of these two gloves. So it might make you think about whether or not you say only 16-ounce gloves for sparring as opposed to wearing 10s or 12s. There's a strong argument in each case, and I was always brought up that we wore 16s in sparring and we wore 10s for competition, or 8s if you're in the lighter weights. However, it does appear as though that's wrong, and there is a lot of scientific evidence coming out to show that this is correct. So I urge you to think forward instead of thinking what you've been taught by someone else. Who was taught by someone else? Who was taught by someone else 100 years ago? Just think about it. The myth is not busted, but just think about the physics when you're making a decision.